Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Good Word. My name is Michael Henderson Anderson Dorland, and I'm here with
Dr. Jess.
Yay, Bishop Sarah.
Newly employed Step Pope Richard, regional Step Pope of Northeast Wyoming and the Great Plains.
All right, everybody.
All right.
So this week we're going to discuss, well, usually we discuss the
How
world
we
being
hate it
on
whenever
fire.
you're right.
When you were like, we're going to be at war with Iran, and we were like,
I don't like, yeah, I said that a year ago, though, so it didn't catch up right away.
Well,
You
there's
did
a lot of
also say
people-
it at the end of last time, also.
You did say it at the end of the last meeting.
Well, no, that was a given. You knew that was going to happen. I didn't know when. I figured it would happen on Saturdays because we tend to not have anything to do on Saturdays in the government. So, you know, it's a good time for us to do something like start a war because it's a Saturday. And obviously these guys don't have, like, you know, kids' soccer games to take them to, or so what else are they going to do? They're going to find something to occupy their time. Let's just start a war.
Let's start World War III.
I don't think this is World War III. I don't think it's World War III. It's
Why
a
not?
precursor. It's a precursor to World War III, so that will probably break out within the next 3 years. But this itself is not World War III.
It
When
could
Russia
lead
moves
to
into
World
Norway-
War III, but
When Russia moves into
Mhm.
Norway in 6 months. See, I try to pick these outlandish things, so I'm not right, and then I don't have to worry
And
about it.
then you're right.
This has sucked. Ever since he got into office, this has sucked because everything I say happens, and I keep making more elaborate, weird, wide things, hoping that it will prove me wrong, yet no, it just is right. It sucks.
Yeah, I mean, well, like the meme over the weekend, like MAGA is right, you know? If I voted for Kamala, we would be at war with Iran, and we would be, gas prices would be going through the roof, groceries are
That's
going
true.
through the roof,
That's
and they're
true.
right.
That's
I
true.
voted for
They're
Kamala.
right.
and
You voted for Kamala.
They're right.
Because the Trumpers, the people on the other side, everything that they voted for is not what they voted for. See, they were told
they
if they
still love
voted for
him.
Trump, none of that stuff would happen.
Yeah, they love him, and whatever that thing is on his neck.
Don't bring up health problems here. No health shaming.
Okay. So I can't
And
punch down to the weird rash.
I haven't looked at it
Can I-
very. Does it look like lizard skin?
It looks like
showing
shingles.
from underneath the.
Yeah, it looks
'cause
like
we-
shingles.
Yeah, let's bypass that. I don't know. I'm not disillusioned. I expected this completely. So
You did.
I'm not
You
disillusioned
did. You
at
called
all.
it. You called
What?
it. You called it. Like you.
I'm not, for the first time in political life, I'm not disillusioned. Disappointed, yeah, but not disillusioned. So, since we
Yeah.
decided that moving to an island was political bad look for today's society, especially as a cult, we started looking at beach houses in Mexico. And we found one.
There's probably some really cheap burn sales in
are.
Puerto Vallarta.
Well, it's not.
I wasn't looking at Puerto
Vallarta.
Vallarta, but I was looking at Tijuana because I want the actual ocean and not the bay. But
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, we
okay.
found a nice one. We thought we could probably work at putting a deposit down on it and everything, putting a down payment, except it only would fit me and Dr. Jess. So we have to find other ones nearby.
a bigger place.
And we have to get everybody's
Mhm.
budget together and everything. But some of the people I watch on YouTube specifically stated that now is the time to look for places outside of the United States if you want to potentially be able to leave the United States. So
I've already told everyone that I personally have and know people who've left because of what's going on already.
Richard, on the other hand, lives out in the middle of boonies, so it's almost like leaving the United States. And since it's in Wyoming, it's definitely almost like leaving the United States. Local government really can't hammer him too much. I don't even know if they know he's up there. I guess you do pay state taxes, right? So they could trace you back with the state taxes, but
Yeah. Our next door neighbor moved, took his dogs with him. So our house sits on two official lots. He was the next two official lots over on the corner. So we share a fence.
did you ever price out how much it would cost to buy the town?
So some of the properties that were for sale back when we first started talking about that have been sold.
Probably the
But I
people
believe
like us.
the price would have been less than 10 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, how much money do we have in the coffers?
Like
Less than 10
negative
million.
20,000.
What? Where did
Like
we get
negative 20,000. I'm just making
Where,
stuff.
where did
I'm
we
just making
get
stuff up.
20,000? I'm like, wow, we got 20,000.
No, I think we have
We're in the
50,
hole.
60 cents on just the Spotify. So, more people need to listen to our music so that we can get passive income that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very passive income. I didn't check book sales lately. Check down and below. There's a link to the one book we've published so far, the Oops Journal. Abascordism book will be out. I finally got people to read it and provide commentary back. So it's a matter of me sitting down and finishing it out, going through one more rough draft read, and then we can get that published. And we have 3 role-playing games that are going into playtest, hopefully, once they're cleaned up and reviewed for the first rough draft. And if anybody wants to do any proofreading for us, or artwork for us, or publishing for us, or taking out the trash for us, or doing any like car washing for us, or feeding the homeless for us, or anything like that, definitely let us know, because we're open for anybody to do anything for us. We really suck compared to what the knitting cult lady says, because
Mhm.
the knitting cult lady's main thing is cults are there to use you for your resources. And unfortunately, all we've done is spend our resources and not got any return on it.
Well,
Yeah.
failure is mandatory.
Failure. Yeah.
We made
Failure's mandatory.
$45 on me playing trivia. So
There you go.
that's the income
true.
the cult has gone.
What other events do we have coming up there, Michael?
Thursday night, we have a demo of Steve Jackson's 6th edition of Car Wars and a paint session, miniatures paint session, because Car Wars turned from a small, detailed tactical board game into some sort of wholesome family freaking miniature Hot Wheel size friendly annoying game for tactical combat people like me. But the cars do look freaking cool and you can paint them. So we're doing that on Thursday. Step Pope Richard looked at.
Do you want to know the rest of the things that we're doing?
Oh, we're
Is
doing
that the question?
We're doing Fandom Jeopardy again, aren't we?
Well, we have an Oops Journal night during the day on Saturday, March 14th.
So day
at
drinking is
Poppin' Off.
approved. Yeah.
Yep,
Day drinking
at
is
11:30. And Fandom Jeopardy on March 21st at 6:30. That's a Saturday.
What day is the Oops Journal?
Saturday the 14th. On Pi
Oh.
Day. So we got to come up with something Pi Day related.
Well, also, we could have a cult event where we all go out and get tattoos on Friday the 13th. Those are cheap.
We could.
Yeah.
Because
We can all go get.
I already have a tattoo.
that's a scar. A serial number you? We could all get cult insignia tattoos.
Oh, there it is. If the light shines on it just right, you can almost make it out.
Oh yeah, I see your scar.
It's a tattoo.
Oh, it's the
How did you get a tattoo?
I've seen it from a prison.
I stabbed myself with a pencil. And it left behind some graphite in the wound.
And they couldn't take the
Ow.
graphite out, and so it stuck in me for like a couple years before it came out. But I had this piece of graphite about yay big. The pencil point was so sharp.
Yeah. Yeah, my
Yeah.
husband has a little graphite from getting stabbed in the thigh with a pencil. So
What was he
y'all
doing
are
to get
violent.
stabbed? What
Use pencils to create art, not to like.
is like they had one time? I think Alice was like 2.5, and Nausicaa was like 5 or something. And I look back in the seat coming home from Grandma's Christmas party, and they had licked their candy canes down to a very sharp point, like a shank. And it looked like you could take the candy cane and just shove it through someone. It was that sharp. They had licked it to, like, you could cut yourself on it point. I'm like, that's disturbing. Don't do that again. And so for the next 2 years, that's all they did. Every time they had a candy cane, they would just lick it to a super sharp point. I fell out of a car when I was like 3.5, 4 years old on a gravel road, and I rolled down the road, and I had gravel that embedded into my kneecap that didn't come out until like I was second year college. Oh no, I know. I had a seatbelt and I didn't use it. I got in a fight with my babysitter, and I was like, I'm not putting my seatbelt on. I don't need to. And she says, put your seatbelt on. And I go, I'm not putting my seatbelt on. And she goes, put your seatbelt on. I said, look, I'll lock the car door and everything. So I'll lock the car door, but I'm not putting my seatbelt on. So I locked the car door, and then I leaned up against the car door to prove a point, which then popped open at one point, and I went down the road and everything. So I was saved miraculously because of my divinity. So,
Or you weren't, and this is just an alternate reality.
don't even start that. I know it's true. You just laugh at me every time I say that. I've died at least 3 times since I've been with you. Yet still, I come back to this plane, to an alternate reality that's close enough that you're still here.
Immortality.
Yes.
Quantum
Well,
immortality.
quantum suicide.
Well,
But
quantum
same thing.
suicide is the term I use, but quantum immortality works too. Like, we were moving out of the house once, when we were moving houses, and it was a really bad time with the move and everything, and I was walking down the hallway and I was yelling at somebody for something. I hit one of those plastic hangers that has like the tube out, the tube plastic hangers, and I slipped on it, and my foot went like that, and I fell backwards, and I cracked my head right on the door jamb, right on the corner of the door jamb, passed out for probably about 5-10 seconds. Actually, I think I died. And that's when I shifted my consciousness to another parallel world where I woke up, because I didn't have like a bloody head afterwards and everything, because I thought it was dead.
Seriously?
Yeah, I lived through that too.
Shocking.
I was blown.
Was it like the Jurassic Park where you were just like totally blown?
Yes, it was. I flew back this was in Spearfish too, at my old trailer house. Blew back 10 feet. The wire cutters had a piece of metal notched out of it, just blown out of it, that was that big. But I lived through it. Or did I live through it? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just shifted my reality to another plane of existence and everything.
That is how your time travel experience works, or experiment, I mean.
You mean my physics paper from senior year of high school, where I got in serious trouble and almost failed because it's not an experiment you can do? I said, yes, you can do it. They're like, no, you can't. And I said, yes, you can. All you have to do is hook somebody up to a nuclear reactor, in the sense that you could vaporize them instantaneously, and this should prove the point. I think I got a D- on the paper. I know that it caused me to have to go judge like 20 science fairs in town to make up enough extra credit so I could graduate that year, because my physics grade was that bad. So
Isn't quantum suicide or quantum immortality, whatever we're calling it this week, the way that you explain the Mandela effect?
Well, you can explain the Mandela effect about that. That would explain the Mandela effect, because I know for a fact that in the 80s, Bananarama recorded a version of Iko Iko. And I remember it because I used to be a top 40, Casey Kasem's top 40 guy back in high school before I had my enlightenment. I don't remember what caused the enlightenment where I stopped listening to Casey Kasem's top 40, but there was an enlightenment where I quit listening to it. Rama recorded a version of Iko Iko. And I know it, and I downloaded it off of Napster, and I had it, and I had it burned on a bunch of stuff. But after a certain point, and I think it's when I lost my 6 terabyte hard drive that I had a ton of stuff stored on it and it burned up, I cannot find it anywhere now. And on top of that, nobody out there thinks that this Bananarama Iko Iko song exists. It's done by Belle Starr, which is from the movie Cocktail.
Was that before or after The Hanger? That's what I want to know.
Before.
After.
Did you burn it? So you
burned it before.
You burned it off of Napster before the Hanger incident, right? So then the Hanger incident. So in the alternate universe.
Well, now you're making me want to go throw my head against the Hanger a couple more times because I really like that
you can
song.
Get it back.
It was a good song, yeah.
You don't exist in that reality anymore, remember?
You can't go back.
I'm sure there's a reality next to it. Or maybe there's a reality where Oingo Boingo did the song, which would be way cooler even. The funny thing about this is the last time we got a massive number of hits and likes on one of these videos that was a cut from the live ones were the ones where I was ranting like an insane person. So I think we can just roll with that from here on out, and I can just tell insane stories and theories that obviously are correct because that's what happened this weekend in Iran.
Yes.
I seriously think that the administration has underestimated what is actually going on and how things are going to work. From all the stuff that I've been reading about this, the fact that these people have absolutely no plan on what to do from this point out because it didn't go like it went in Argentina.
Venezuela?
You know,
why do you keep calling it Argentina?
I don't know, but every time I write it down Venezuela. But every time it comes out of my mouth, it's Argentina. And I don't know. Maybe it's just because of the Nazi correlation, and I just think of everybody in the administration with a direct relation to, Argentina.
Did you watch like Evita or something lately? Like recently?
No, but I watched The Boys from Brazil, which should have been set in Argentina.
So anyway, yes, this weekend went differently than Venezuela's incident.
Yes, and because it went differently, they don't know what to do.
They didn't know what to do to begin with.
Yeah.
Well, no, they did.
Weren't you saying that it was, a requirement for God to go and do this? Isn't that what they're saying?
No,
that's what they told the military.
That's what Pete Hegseth told the military. I don't think any of them believe in God, including Pete Hegseth, but it seems like a good rallying cry for the people in the South, and maybe if we're lucky, all of them will join the military and help, resolve this war some way. If that's the case, then we might as well go that route. Although, if you read the book of Revelations, you only have a certain limited number. Huh?
The book of Revelation.
Revelations, whatever, all right? And if you read it, you find out that everything these people preach about it is completely wrong because it's not how it works.
What do you mean?
Well, what do I mean? I'll let Sarah explain.
What do you mean?
Sarah, can you explain
things
why
like
it's such a misinterpretation of it?
Yeah, it's a very gross misinterpretation, especially being latched on by the Christian nationalists right now.
Mm-hmm.
You go like, okay, show me where like that really exists, and then it's bad.
Well, I mean, if you go back to the book of Revelations and everything like that, and you're reading it, first off, according to it, there's only so many people that are actually going to be able to be raptured up anyway from a certain tribe.
The rapture doesn't exist.
Well,
the rapture isn't biblical.
The dead come back to life. How's that? That happens.
Hey, wait, what does Revelation actually say?
It says we're all going to die and Jesus has a sword.
And what are the Christian nationalists saying it says?
If you want to, you could read C.S. Lewis's The Last Battle, from the Narnia series. It's pretty much the same thing.
I love C.S. Lewis's The Last Battle as an discourse on Revelation. Like,
yeah, but that's got so many problems with it, and you know it.
I know it, but it's still
yeah. I love the Narnia series. I read the Narnia series when I was in junior high.
We're trying to keep you on track though for Iran.
Okay, so it was a good song. The Flock of Seagulls were really good. I did see them in concert, and they did that song.
What are you even talking about now?
We went back
Flock
to
of
Ico
Seagulls, the song. I ran.
What are you talking
I ran
about?
so far away.
Oh,
that's
God.
you know, what? No, and he didn't have the hair like he did back in the 80s. It was like mostly bald and everything and overweight. And I'm like, wow, this is. And then Wang Chung, which was the main group, got up there, and I looked at him and said, they're like my dad's age. Oh my gosh. And we're in this bar.
And then you realized you're like your dad's age? Oh, wait.
Not at the time.
Okay.
But we were all packed up close to the bar because it was Wang Chung and Flock of Seagulls here in Tucson. And we were all crammed up next to it. And I was like, this is great. And it looked like it was packed, and turned around. There's absolutely nobody behind us at all. There was nobody else in the bar except for this big crowd of Gen Xers, you know, crowding up against it. And the first thing I thought when I walked out of there is, man, I feel really bad for these guys, because these guys played a ton of arena shows in the 80s. There's a difference between, you know, Wang Chung and Flock of Seagulls playing arenas and going to a bar, and Blue Oyster Cult playing arenas, because they started in bars, and then they went to the arenas, and then went back to the bars, and then they went to the arenas, then they went to the county fairs, and then they went to Old Tucson. Blue Oyster Cult live at Old Tucson out here, and their stage is sitting up there, and there's like a butte right behind the stage, like Devil's Tower in Wyoming there, Richard, and it's flat, and this dark storm starts rolling in over it, and we're like an open little area arena. It's not huge crowd, so you get a good seat, and this black storm cloud starts rolling in over top of this thing, massive lightning and everything like that, and it's Blue Oyster Cult, and you're watching this stuff, and you're like, wow, this is like God saying this is a good concert. It's like God adding to the concert and everything, because, I mean, and at the end, they eventually had to stop playing. They did Godzilla with like a 4-minute drum solo. They just left him on stage playing the drums and went and took drinks of water, and then they came back. And then it started raining, and the wind kicked up, and they finished out with Don't Play the Reaper at the end of the first set while they were being blown off the stage and playing Don't Fear the Reaper. Yeah, fucking awesome concert. That's all I gotta say.
So are we avoiding talking about what's going on with the world being on fire? Are we avoiding it because the topic is just too much and it's traumatizing for those of us who remember watching the Middle East on fire on our TV sets when we were teenagers?
So I used to play a lot of strategy games, like war games, like, you know, Third Reich and Axis and Allies, which was simple, and things like that, and NATO. And watching these guys function and do things and everything is very, very similar to watching a group of elementary kids play Risk. So I'm just not really captured by the strategic. These kids are not trading. The administration has like cards that they could trade in for a lot of units, but they're not trading them in for a lot of units. They decided to smoke them.
I see.
Or chew on them. Shove them in their ear.
Mm-hmm.
It's like playing Car Wars with a third grader. Which we're doing. Risk doesn't. The only thing you learn from Risk is to get Australia and take it over first. So that's just the first thing you learn. But that being said, yeah, Iran's going to be messy. It's going to be messy. We're going to see.
It's going to take a long time.
Well, and the thing is, we're getting nothing but propaganda from our major news networks over here. CBS has clearly turned into a propaganda machine. CNN is becoming a propaganda machine. And Fox News. So we can't even get accurate news over here. So when we hear that 5 troops 5 soldiers died in Iraq or Iran so far from the United States, and then you hear from other reports that 550 soldiers have died. Both of them are obviously wrong, but there's probably a truth in between those two.
And it was the lovely Lord Farquaad speech that he gave about some of you may die.
Some of you may die.
Willing to make.
It's a sacrifice he's willing to make, and I agree. They should put Bannon on the front line and have him lead the troops.
Barron?
Well, put Bannon on there too. He's a warmonger too.
I'm assuming Barron, either one.
Either, both of them. They could ride in the same Jeep.
Did not know that.
That's one of the ones they put out there, and they floated out there. He's too tall to serve in the military because he's 6'9".
Who's 6'9"?
He probably has.
That's not true.
He probably has bone spurs too.
Yeah.
Who? He probably has bone spurs.
And I'm sure his physical. I'm sure Barron's physical will reveal bone spurs.
I mean, look at the family, so you can't deny that. He's probably disbarred from that one.
Mm-hmm. But he can close his laptop, so
Well, and did you see they sent Melania Trump to do the UN
to the
yesterday?
UN?
To open up the UN Security Council thing yesterday.
Yeah, because
he's just thumbing his nose at it. He's just thumbing his nose.
I don't know if it's better that we're not a superpower anymore or worse. I mean, it does take some of the pressure off of us.
Yeah.
What's this us? Because I don't feel like a lot of people were like, no, we were. I voted for Kamala, which meant I should have expected everything that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Like Sarah says, if you vote that way, that's what's going to happen.
Got what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Now let's take a moment of silence for our dignity as a country, because it's dead.
I realized, so I was watching The American President, and I wanted to feel like I could have a president who could put a thought together, and it got to the end and I was crying, and I realized, why am I crying? This isn't even a sad movie. This is an awesome movie. And I was like, I'm crying because all hope is lost for our country. So yeah, I'm mourning my country.
Did you see Hegseth's speech the last 2 times he's got up there and talked?
No. I can't stand watching any of them.
I try not to watch.
Yeah, I can't watch him.
I watched it for you, so you don't have to. And I could barely get through it. With his, well, we're not going to tell you how many people die, and we're not going to give any information like that to the American public. They don't need to know. I paraphrased on that one.
But was that the same speech where he said no more stupid rules of engagement?
No more stupid rules of engagement. Which is fine, because I guess that means that the Iraqis can... actually, the Iraqis are actually backing the Iranians down, too. You know how everybody had such a problem with ISIS when it spun up and everything? Mm-hmm. The fact that what they're doing and how they're doing it is just going to create an even more centralized, organized, and powerful ISIS. And I'm not talking about the DC Comics superheroine who had her own TV show on CBS on Saturday mornings. It's the other ISIS.
Mm-hmm. ISIS spun up because we left Iraq, finally, but didn't manage to actually do any nation building, despite the fact that that's what we supposedly were doing for the previous 10 years.
Trump's statements and all this other stuff with, we're going to go in there and we're going to liberate them from other people in the countries and we're going to free them so that they can rule themselves and everything. So in order to do that, we're going to bomb the hell out of everybody and ruin their entire infrastructure, and like we did in Iraq. First day, let's bomb all their clean water supplies and make sure that cities don't have clean water supplies, because then those people will love us. I don't know where they get that idea. I mean,
Yeah.
but seriously, it's the same way that Elon Musk and Palantir and Theo and Elon Musk and Bezos treat regular people too. I'm going to treat you like crap, but I'll let you work for me for crap, and so you'll love me and work hard. No, I'm not going to work hard for you. I'm going to put the least amount of effort into it because you put the least amount of effort into keeping me alive. On a plus side, going back to the book of Revelation, okay, and Pete Hegseth's whole thing, if we follow the book correctly, the dead will rise, and so maybe we'll get lucky and wind up in a Walking Dead situation as opposed to what's coming for us. There's my prediction, and if I'm right about this...
So next week when we meet again, we'll be talking about, so how are the first few days of the zombie apocalypse going for you?
Well, it depends on if we're talking, what type of zombies we're talking about.
Didn't we have an episode about the zombies already? Can we not?
Did we?
Yeah, how to prepare for zombie apocalypse.
Monday night, they're showing Night of the Comet, which is my favorite zombie flick after Dawn of the Dead. 8 o'clock up there, Mondo Monday. Anybody in town who's watching this wants to join us up there. If you find me, you can get free popcorn. You can ask Bishop Sarah. I got her free popcorn when we went to see
the little member bag of free popcorn. It was awesome.
It's the same size as the $5 bag of popcorn. Did you know
it
that?
Is the perfect size of popcorn because it's free.
But anyway, we did go up and watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Saturday. I forced Richard to go see that back when it came out, 1990.
Was that the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Don't even talk about that one. We don't talk about that one. That was horrible.
It's like Highlander 2. It's a fictional Mandela-effect.
The more that I watch Highlander 2, which is not very much, I have a certain level of respect for it, because if you pretend there was no Highlander 1, it's not too bad.
But see, that movie shouldn't, because there can be only one.
Well, there was a cartoon that I saw back in the 90s. It was like from one of my gaming magazines. It was things you never hear said at a convention and everything. And it had some guy talking to another guy, and the other guy was wearing a Highlander shirt. And the guy looks at him and goes, I didn't think the first one was that good.
First one was fine. It wasn't great cinema, but it was an entertaining couple hours.
Are you saying Sean Connery playing a Spanish person was not great cinema?
An Egyptian Spanish person.
Oh yeah, correction.
Oh god.
The thing that I don't understand is why Highlander, the remake of Highlander, was named Highlander 3, because it was basically just a remake of the first movie, and the second movie didn't exist, so calling it Highlander 3 was just weird in all kinds of ways, on many levels.
Unless you take into account quantum suicide. So if you take into account quantum suicide, that means on almost every parallel world, there's an only one for that parallel world. So maybe it was somebody crossed between them. So now there was the one from this world and the one from this world. So where they were the one, now they became a situation where they had to take it out. We're coming to Rationalizations 101. I can rationalize anything. Except this administration's way of approaching Iran. The only rationalization I can come up with that is the simple fact that they fucking didn't know what they were doing. I mean, I thought it was bad. I thought it was bad enough that in the Iraq War, we didn't know what we were doing, and we had no understanding of the people over there. And we went and attacked the only Middle Eastern country where a female could walk down the street with a Walkman wearing blue jeans and a t-shirt with a bare midriff and not get killed. So we attacked that country. Hussein was horrible and awful and everything like that, but he didn't put up with all this other shit that these other countries like enforced. That would continue that. Did you hear Trump say about the people to take over the country in Iran?
That number 2 and number 3 are also dead?
No. The people I thought we could have take over the country are now dead.
Yeah, because he killed them.
But he said he had planned on them taking over. He had planned on this being exactly like Venezuela. Go in, take out the one top bad guy, and then put the second top bad guy in his place, and then take all the oil. And that's what he wanted to do. And since Venezuela was a walk through the park, and obviously we're that good, and they just rolled over for us, it's going to happen here too. I mean, I guess the biggest people that are benefiting from this right now are the Cubans. We haven't turned our attention to the Cubans, and Canada and another country have actually shipped fuel to Cuba. So they're not completely without fuel again. So this is going to distract them over there enough that they can't come back to Cuba and like ruin them. So I guess they're the big winners of the week.
Well, and we're also not talking about Greenland anymore. So I guess they're winners too.
Well, I guess if they were making a big distraction, they actually did a really good job of making a big distraction. Not because of the war itself, but because of how badly they've botched it and how it's just going to be 10 million times worse than they thought it was going to be. Iran has been anticipating Israel and America bombing them to rubble for the last 30 years. Okay? And so they planned for what was going to happen. They have tunnels and they have reinforced structures, and they are set up as a society to withstand this type of punishment. The other thing that they planned is the fact that air superiority and this type of thing is great for taking out centralized leadership, but it's not good for taking out decentralized leadership. And the rumor I heard yesterday was that the Ayatollah made himself a martyr. He knew that he was going to be attacked, so he stayed where they would find him. And so there is no central command, except there is a central group, but they're centralizing and managing a bunch of dispersed command centers all around the region and everything, which is hard to take out because you can't just bomb all over the frickin' place. I mean, you gotta remember, Iran's huge. So you can't just bomb absolutely everywhere. And, yes, Israel has the Mossad is a great, secret service organization, best in the world, but that doesn't mean that other countries aren't either. Iran's taken down our banking systems before with their hackers. They've got good people. And the thing is, you could get the people who hated the Ayatollah to stand up against him and go against him by giving them positive ways to actually do that. I don't think bombing the hell out of people and then expecting those same people you bombed to jump up and say, "You're our saviors, let's kick these other people out," no matter how bad the other people are. Because these other people, they'll shoot me, but you're going to bomb me. So what's the difference other than they at least know they're shooting me? You're just indiscriminately bombing everybody, including a school. So what's going to happen is that Iran has stockpiled so many missiles, and their tactic originally, from what I heard, was to use all their cheap, lame stuff in all the initial attacks to make us use up all of our air defense missiles and all of our air defenses. So everything they're throwing at us right now is the cheap stuff, the old stuff, the stuff that's not that good. And then once they realize that we don't have as much of that stuff as possible, then they'll pull out their really good stuff. Prediction is that by the beginning of next week, we'll see Iran make a lot more impact and damage on both American and Israel sites, because the weapons they use will be much more powerful than the ones they've been using, and we won't have as much air defense as we had for the last week. Now, hopefully I'm wrong.
Hopefully you're wrong.
I'm wrong.
Hopefully you're wrong.
Let's hope you're wrong, and let's hope the zombie apocalypse isn't next week either. So where are you going to leave us with any ounce of hope for this week?
Okay, wait. I do have something that I don't know how to segue to it, but I'll just say it. Okay. Last week, you kind of like snickered at me whenever I said that the person that I talked to who said he would vote for Trump again, I ended up talking about empathy with that person for a great amount of time. And the reason I did is because empathy isn't about having sympathy. Empathy is about understanding. And when you go into war, whenever you decide that you're better than another country, you have no empathy for the person that you are attacking. And we are in this situation because the people in power have no empathy. They don't care about anybody else or anything else. And that's what hurts people, is not understanding anything other than yourself.
Plus, they're not very bright.
Some people are very smart, but they lack insight and they lack empathy.
And they don't think other people are that smart.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my hope.
They believe themselves to be the smartest person in the room, despite the fact that all evidence is to the contrary.
Nothing like a bottle of Dunning-Kruger to get you through the day.
Yeah.
So we'll leave everybody with a positive take on this week's topic that we've gone through, which is Iran in several different directions simultaneously, and say we can look forward to being able to soon listen to that Bananarama version of Aiko Aiko. Because, dear God, I'm sure something's going to happen and we'll be able to shift. And hopefully the next place I wind up is going to have that Bananarama version of Aiko Aiko. And everybody says, no, it was the Bell Star version. I go, no, it wasn't. It sounded totally different. And it came out like a year and a half before the Bell Star version. So, yeah. Positive note, quantum suicide. Dr. Jess, you have anything to add to that positive note?
And not to that one, no. I have no idea how to follow that up. But on my own positive note, everybody should go out and like find somebody to understand in order to counteract the.
Expand on that. Go out, can I form those communities? Form those communities. Share your stories, get to know your neighbors, see each other as the human beings that we are.
The temperature has been fairly warm around here, so I do believe the heater for the swimming pool will be coming on in the next couple weeks, and then free margaritas and swimming pools and pizza bar, and now we have the TV added to it. The cult does have some perks for members. Let's move on.
Positive notes. We're leaving on positive notes.
Positive.
Richard, since you're our favorite step pope next to Butch.
I gassed up my car in Spearfish before the price of gas jumped up 40 cents per gallon.
Yay.
Did it jump up? I knew I should have gone and filled up yesterday.
Oh, no, it's every day it's been jumping more and more.
Well,
yeah, I noticed it was 40 cents. Well, it was up, about 40 cents here in Sundance yesterday afternoon after I had gassed up in Spearfish. So there is a difference between South Dakota and Wyoming. So I don't know how much of that is related to goings on, but I'll be. But I've got a full tank, or mostly full.
That's good.
And I don't have to go very far tomorrow.
And you have a job.
When I have a job.
With benefits.
And wrapping it up, just to add on to that with a positive note, hopefully, or more than likely within the next month, you'll make a shift over to a reality that only electric cars exist, and then a lot of pollution will go away and stuff like that.
Just look out for those plastic broken hangers, guys.
Dead
Take
serious.
those opportunities.
Dead serious. Look, I've got like 5 other incidents. I've got like 5 other incidents where I obviously shifted at times. So, you know, one of them with her, like right after we moved in together and everything. So, on that note, everybody, my name is Michael Henderson Dorland, saying good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye,
Go out and
everybody.
care about somebody. Good night.